听力测验
1. 图片听解第一部分单选题。说明，请听语音播出的试题，根据内容在4幅图片中选出最符合题意的图片。
1.
In many ways, COVID-19 is like a test for all of mankind.
I assume you mean to see if humanity can survive the outbreak.
No, I mean to see if we can turn it into something positive. Due to coronavirus, many people have resolved to make changes in their lives.
That is true. My roommate has started writing a book she was delaying.
My parents have run on the treadmill to get in shape and boost their immune systems.
My neighbors are throwing themselves into home repair and gardening. Their place looks great.
It's important to stay busy if we want to stay positive through all of this chaos.
For sure. I've been learning to cook for that very reason. I won't let hunger or COVID-19 bring me to my knees. Question.
Which photo does not fit with the main theme of the conversation?
2.
I read that farmers in Florida end up throwing away millions of tons of tomatoes every year.
Why do they do that?
They have no choice. Many tomatoes are damaged before they make it to markets.
What causes the damage?
Sometimes it's frost. Other times, excessive rain makes their skin split open.
The weather can be hard to predict and it's impossible to control.
Not only that, insects constitute another serious threat to tomato crops every year.
It's a pity to think about truckloads of rotten tomatoes being dumped somewhere. That's just so wasteful. Question.
Which threat to tomato crops is not mentioned in the conversation?
Three.
Since classes have been canceled, I have been streaming a series on Netflix about the decline of the Roman Empire.
Cool! I love history and learning about ancient dynasties. What caused the Roman Empire to collapse?
For one thing, the Romans were under invasion constantly from tribes that wanted to destroy them.
I thought the Roman troops were fierce and highly disciplined fighters. They fought to the death and rarely surrendered.
True. However, too many soldiers died in combats. The military became too weak to protect the realm.
I recall that the Romans used slave labor to build a thriving economy.
Actually, if it had not relied so heavily on slave labor, the empire might have been able to survive longer. The Romans ran out of slaves when they started losing wars.
I guess their cities must have started falling apart. Fighting all those wars must have been expensive, too.
It was. The Romans eventually ran out of money, which signaled the end for the empire.
Question.
Which photo shows something not mentioned in the decline of the Roman Empire?
Four.
We're learning about eco-friendly energy in science class this semester.
That's interesting. What can you tell me about it?
We've been studying alternative power sources that could replace existing ones that pollute the environment or come with high safety risks.
Are you talking about replacing coal and gas power plants? I know they both contribute to making the air dirty.
Not just coal and gas. Even nuclear power comes with certain risks, and we have to dispose of the waste fuel somehow.
What are the alternatives? Wind and solar power?
Yes, but did you know rotten fruit and vegetables can produce electricity too? One procedure uses bacteria that feed on raw, rotten plant matter.
Wow! I had no idea that was possible. Green innovation really is making our world better. Question.
Which photo shows a facility for producing energy from rotten tomatoes?
2. 图片听解第二部分多选题。说明，请仔细观察图片，并聆听试题，从听到的4个选项中选出最符合图意的2个答案。
1.
Which two of the following statements are true about the picture? A. It shows hospital workers must beware of coronavirus infection. B. It shows the treatment of a victim of the COVID-19 outbreak. C. It shows a healthcare system that has been brought to its knees. D. It shows a patient who is thriving in a hospital.
Two.
Which two of the following statements are true about the poster? A. Denmark gets more of its energy from renewable sources than Hungary does. B. Poland gets more of its energy from renewable sources than Portugal does. C. Iceland's 2020 renewable energy target was lower than Norway's. D. Belgium's 2020 renewable energy target was higher than Sweden's.
Three.
Which two of the following statements are true about the picture? A. People living in this town probably have more tomatoes than they need to eat. B. We can presume this town generates electricity from fresh tomatoes. C. We can presume people in this town have little use for electricity. D. Producing electricity from rotten tomatoes could be suitable for this town.
Four.
Which two of the following statements are true about the poster? A. The number of recovered cases is increasing slightly. B. The number of total deaths is greater than the number of recovered cases. C. The number of active COVID-19 cases is declining. D. The number of recovered cases is slightly higher than the number of deaths.
3. 对答说明，请听语音内容，从4个选项中选出一个最适当的回应。
1.
If it had not been for the coronavirus, I would have gone to Europe for a study exchange program last summer.
2.
If Taiwan's medical system collapsed, thousands might be killed by the coronavirus.
3.
We need to think about little things we can do every day to save energy.
Four.
Frank spreads natural fertilizers on his lawn once a month.
5.
It seems even kings and queens are not safe from the coronavirus.
6,
I think rotten tomatoes are the ideal fuel for generating electricity.
Seven.
At present, most of Taiwan's energy comes from burning coal and natural gas.
Eight.
The patient would have died if not for the work of brave doctors and nurses.
4. 简短对话单题说明，请听语音内容和相关的问题，从4个选项中选出一个最适当的选项。
1.
I have to admit, I've become a shopaholic.
You're not alone. I've resolved to cut down on my spending myself.
I just don't seem to have the capacity to control myself. It's just too easy to buy things I don't need online.
Tell me about it. I shudder when I think of how much money I've wasted on junk in the past year.
Question.
Which of the following statements is true about the speakers?
Two.
When SARS hit Taiwan in 2003, it caused social chaos.
I remember people panicked when they saw that hundreds of people were dying from it.
Fortunately, the COVID-19 outbreak is proving to be much different.
I agree. Things are not the same as they were back in 2003. Question.
What does the man mean by things are not the same as they were back in 2003?
Three.
How is your work going?
I'm struggling to find a way to safely boost a new electrical system's output.
Sounds like a difficult technical problem.
It is. I spend about 12 hours every day in the laboratory trying to find a solution.
Question.
Which of the following statements is true about the speakers?
Four.
What's it like living in a small rural village in your country?
Well, life is slow-paced and we usually go to bed early.
Is that because everyone's tired after a hard day's work?
No, it's because we must finish our chores and homework while it's still daylight. After dark, it's not so convenient. Question.
What can we learn from the conversation?
5. 简短对话题组说明，请听语音内容和相关的问题，从4个选项中选出一个最适当的选项。
1.
You're graduating soon. Do you know what you want to do after university?
I want to do something with my skills that will make a difference in people's lives.
You study electrical engineering, don't you? You should be able to earn a good salary working for a large company.
Yes, but for me, job satisfaction is more important than money.
So what would make you happy?
Well, I love to travel, and I'm interested in technology related to eco-friendly sources of energy. Maybe I could combine the two.
There must be many opportunities for someone like you in developing countries.
You're right. Maybe I should try to find work with an NGO that is trying to boost living standards in agricultural areas where people lack electricity.
That sounds like an excellent plan.
Question. What is the most likely relationship between the two speakers?
Question. Why would working for an NGO be a good choice for the man?
Two.
It's terrible that so many people have lost their jobs because of COVID-19.
Because they became too sick to work?
I mean people who were let go by their employers or forced to close their companies because profits declined so much.
I shudder to think what it must be like to be without a job in times like these.
It must be very stressful indeed. Some industries are doing better than others are during the outbreak.
I know the tourism industry has taken a major hit.
For sure. In many places, the tourist trades have collapsed completely.
Travel bans and worries about getting infected mean no one is traveling unless they absolutely must.
It's not just airlines and hotels. Restaurants, souvenir shops, and tour guides have fewer customers too.
Question. Which of these industries is least likely to see business decline due to coronavirus?
Question. What does "I shudder to think what it must be like to be without a job in times like these" mean?
6. 短文听解题组说明每两题为一题组，请先阅读试题本的题目及选项，然后听语音播出的内容，从4个选项中选出一个最适当的选项。
1.
请先阅读试题。
Why is studying electrical engineering a good idea? For one thing, electrical engineers are universally in demand. There is not a single country on Earth that does not require their services. Most modern transportation technology already relies on electricity, and innovation in the field of electric and self-driving vehicles will only boost the demand for experts. Whether they are researching and designing long storage batteries, fuel cells, charging systems, or engines, engineers will be leading the way forward. Along with transportation, technologies related to the Internet and communications represent huge opportunities for economic and scientific growth. Treat your education as an investment in yourself and your future. Once you have finished your training and obtained a diploma, you will have many opportunities for employment.
Two.
请先阅读试题。
Everyone in the community has a duty to practice good personal hygiene to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak. To avoid infecting others, anyone who has symptoms of the virus or even suspects he or she might have it should isolate himself or herself immediately. The coronavirus thrives in places where people gather. Even those who feel healthy and have no symptoms should be aware of crowded places, avoid social occasions, and always maintain a distance of 1.5 meters from others. Masks must be worn in public at all times, and people must wash their hands carefully with soap several times a day. If everyone followed these practical rules, the virus could be stopped and mankind could be spared more unnecessary suffering.
Three.
请先阅读试题。
The working life of the humble farmer is not easy. Despite modern technology, the cultivation of fruit and vegetables is not easy. Hungry insects can wipe out entire fields of juvenile plants before they can be harvested. Along with insects, the weather constitutes another factor farmers must deal with. Cold weather can bring frost that causes black spots to appear on the skin of fruits and vegetables. Too much rain can likewise cause mold or other bacteria to grow on crops. Over time, if enough water accumulates in fields, it can even cause the roots of plants to rot in the soil. When these things happen, farmers lose their investment of time, labor, and money. Next time you meet a farmer, thank him or her.
Four.
请先阅读试题。
The coronavirus survives by invading living cells and turning them into factories that make copies of itself. This is possible because the surface of the virus is covered in spikes made of protein. Using these spikes, the tiny virus attaches itself to a healthy human host cell that is hundreds of times bigger than it is. It then inserts its genes into the host cell. The virus's genes contain a code that functions as a set of instructions. This code takes over the healthy cell functions and tricks the host cell into switching to making anywhere from hundreds to thousands of copies of the coronavirus. These copies represent the next generation of the virus's offspring. When they go forth from the cell, the cycle begins again.
7. 长篇听解说明每4题为1题组，请先阅读试题本的大纲或图表及选项，然后听语音播出的内容，可同步利用试题本上的大纲或图表，记录重要讯息与细节。此部分不计分。再根据语音播出的题目，从4个选项中选出一个最适当的选项。
1.
请先阅读试题。
Good afternoon. My name is Louise, and I'm a volunteer with the Taiwan Feed the Hungry program. Do you have a couple of minutes you could spare to learn about what we're doing to help members of the community in need?
Sure. What exactly does your organization do, Louise?
The Taiwan Feed the Hungry program was set up and officially registered as a charity with the government in 2009. We collect unsold food from supermarkets and from people who want to donate food to our program. We use fresh foods to cook meals in our soup kitchen to serve to those in need. Any canned and dry food goes to our community food bank.
That's wonderful. I think I might have actually passed by your food bank and soup kitchen before. It's right downtown, isn't it?
It's true that our food bank used to be located in the heart of the city, but we moved to the city suburbs about 5 years ago.
I'm curious. Why did you move to the suburbs? Isn't that less convenient for people who need a meal?
That's a good question. It actually makes more sense for us to be in the suburbs because that's where the people with the lowest incomes live nowadays. Rents downtown have simply become too expensive for them to afford.
I never thought of that.
That's the harsh economic reality these days, I'm afraid.
So do the supermarkets drop the food donations off at your location?
We have 2 vans that operate according to a schedule. They pick up the food from the supermarkets. Individual people usually bring food to us directly, but if they have a large amount to donate, we can arrange to pick it up too.
Is all the donated food you get good to eat? Isn't any of it expired or rotten?
Oh, we're very careful about inspecting the fruits and vegetables and checking the best before dates on packaged food carefully. It's all completely safe to consume.
I'm happy to hear about your program. I think this is a very important service you are providing for the community, Louise. Maybe I can volunteer with Taiwan Feed the Hungry.
We would love to have you. We can use all the help we can get. Question. Why did the soup kitchen and food bank move to a different location? Question. What purpose do you think Louise had for approaching the man and talking to him?
Question. What do we learn about Louise from this conversation? Question. Why do the people who get their meals at the Taiwan Feed the Hungry program not need to worry about food safety?
Two.
请先阅读试题。
Good morning, Miss Kim. I'm Dr. Stevens. What brings you to our clinic today?
I haven't been well this week. I took a couple of days off work to rest, but I feel my condition is getting worse.
What kind of symptoms have you been having?
It started with a sore throat, then a dry cough, and my nose started to run. By Wednesday, I felt so tired and weak, I could hardly get out of bed.
When did these symptoms start?
My throat felt uncomfortable Sunday night. The cough, runny nose, and tiredness hit me on Monday.
Any other symptoms? Any difficulty breathing or chest pain?
No, thankfully.
What about muscle pain, fever, or chills?
No, but my energy is very low. I've been checking my temperature several times daily. It has been normal.
No skin rash?
No.
What about your sense of taste and smell? Any changes there?
No, food tastes the same as usual.
Last question. Have you been traveling outside the country recently?
No, I haven't been anywhere except work, home, and the gym. Do you think I might have COVID-19?
Your symptoms don't suggest coronavirus, but I'm ordering a COVID test to confirm it. You must monitor your health in the meantime.
Okay, I live alone and I can probably arrange to work from home while I wait for the results. Question. What would the doctor most likely say next to the patient? Question. How does the doctor plan to confirm the patient does not have COVID-19?
Question. Why did the patient not see the doctor earlier? Question. Why does the doctor believe the patient does not have COVID-19?
This is the end of the listening comprehension test.
听力测验结束。